There's a dream I feel so rare, so real. It's the world in union, the world as one, as we climb to reach our destiny. A new age has
At the end of June 1995, the people of Johannesburg poured onto the streets of the city to celebrate the achievements of the South African rugby team. This is the story of how one team from one country won the Rugby World Cup. Team spirit amongst the Springboks had never been a problem, but the challenge that faced them at the start of Rugby World Cup '95 was enormous. Winning the trophy was a big enough challenge in itself. Bringing a rainbow nation together in the process simply added to the task at hand. President Nelson Mandela's simple gesture of donning a Springbok cap symbolized the start of a relationship that would grow stronger and stronger. As the Springboks arrived in Cape Town on the eve of the opening match against the reigning world champions, Australia, it was already clear that the people had taken the team to their hearts. Everywhere they went, they would be urged on by the strains of Shozolozo. Divided cultures were beginning to blend together. Newlands, May the 25th, 1995, and only one man could set the ball rolling.
It is my privilege to declare this, the 1995 Rugby World Cup tournament, open.
Francois Pienaar led out a relatively inexperienced side for the opener against Australia. Chester Williams, who had become one of the great symbols of this World Cup, was missing thanks to a hamstring injury aggravated just before the tournament began. Only 4 players had made 10 or more international appearances. More than 1 or 2 would become household names around the world by the end of the tournament.
Captain Michael Liner with a kick-off, and just listen to the roar. That's the start. Andrews was the target. He's got it. Van der Westhuizen's got Stransky in close enough. It was well played by Stransky. He kept himself tight, but his kick's wide. That's Penny's. Also the big hoist We'll see a lot of this aerial bombardment early in the match. One feels sure. Good catch there by the fullback and Andre Joubert. So important for both Van der Westhuizen and Stransky to get the Australians back into their half of the field. Also have the win to contend with.
Well, that was a use it or lose it law. South Africa with it. They didn't get it back from the ruck situation, from the maul rather, and so Australia put in.
Zambian-born George Gregan at scrum half for Australia surely will be a target for the South Africans if they can disrupt the movement of the ball down the dangerous Australian backline. It'll certainly be a percentage of the battle won. Little chat to Tim Gavin did at number 8. He's the man with a pickup. It was good work by Van der Westhuizen to stop that initial drive. The Australians are very powerful with those drives. Herbert coming through, but South Africa have been penalised, and this is kickable. He struck that well, Hasliner. First blood to Australia.
Only 2.5 minutes gone, and Australia with that 3-0 lead. And I think it must have been a difficult decision, Gavin, as to whether to play with the wind or against the wind, because, as you said earlier on, down here it can change in the second half.
That's Stransky with the start. Australia picked up there from Durant in the drive through. South Africa will want to try and control these rucks and mauls. That's an untidy one. Stransky's hoist. So watch how the wind has held that back a little bit. Pinney comes in with a big jump. Australians all over the place. Crowley can't rescue it. Oh, the penalty has gone to South Africa. The Aussies were playing the ball on the wrong side of that ruck situation. This will do him so much good if this goes over. He's been a very nervous man in the last few days. Well, you turn it in and out. That's good enough. Small. Don't do anything foolish, James. He puts it down. Well, there's great temptation, and when your nerves are like they are, Chick, sometimes you just might do something silly, but all under control.
I think he had the whole of the people on the edge of their seats there in case he thought of doing something silly.
Well, that's dropout number 3 for Joel Stransky, so lots of pressure from Australia too, but that was a tackle in the air, and Australia will get the penalty. This is Liner again. Has he struck this one better? Yes, that's there. It's a very good kick that from Michael Liner. Enormous pressure on the two fly halves today.
And that's interesting. You don't very often see a free kick for putting it in crooked.
Yeah, you don't, and this is Van der Westhuizen. Good work by off and go, but it hasn't really helped now. Mulder goes back in field. That is a thumping tackle, but it's high. And that'll be a penalty to South Africa. Can they make something of this? The referee waits for the advantage. Well, back they'll come. This to draw level at 6-all. You'll hear it from the crowd.
And 20 minutes gone exactly. So it couldn't be a more even game.
Can South Africa make something of this? Australian defence rock solid. Strowley. Great tackle there by Michael Liner. This is Van der Westhuizen going through, but the referee has in fact given a penalty, and the referee's whistle presumably had blown before Van der Westhuizen charged through for what would have been the softest try in Test rugby. It's virtually a little chip over this one for Joel Stransky. Did the same with the last one, just tapped it like that, and that was good enough. Picked from second division, from relative obscurity. Phil Kearns, and then off Ngawi. You've got to get him around the ankles. It's the only place. That's great running by the Australian forwards. Is this a chance for them? Jason Little on the inside. He's big and strong. South Africa will have to be careful. We'll be getting offsides. Liner on the inside of Campese. Rock solid defence from South Africa, but can they keep holding? This is Liner. He's swamped by Francois Pienaar. Gregan for the 4th time. Is there now a chance? Campese, Herbert, Here is a chance, South Africa. Another great tackle from Peter Hendricks. You can only make so many tackles, in the words of Kitch Christie, the coach. Well, they're making plenty now. South Africa's Campese down the middle. Gregan again, he can't get it out. Now it comes out. Is this a chance for Michael Liner? It is! A great score for Michael Liner. He's got his sights perhaps a little bit better set now. Will that swing round too much? Yes, it's in. All the points in the match to Michael Liner. And of course that's the... Can Joubert counter-attack? Will he look to try with a switch with James Small? That's good play by James Small. This is Dalton. He's got Bali Swart on the outside. Chose to go infield, probably the right option. Can South Africa sprint it quickly enough? James Small, Peter Hendricks, Peter Hendricks, Peter Hendricks! That's a try! What a great try from Peter Hendricks. And that's exactly what South Africa wanted just before halftime.
Well, he's certainly pleased, but Gavin, I don't know if you noticed, he went right through Campese. Campese had him covered, and I thought if he should go for the inside shoulder, Hendricks would have been tackled. Let's see it again. The first thing was very good possession, second phase, and the first skip pass, a forward of the way, another long skip pass, and a good pass out to Hendricks. And there's Campese, he had him. He just went right through him, not round him. He went through the defence of Campo.
And this was Peter Hendricks' effort as he brushed alongside the attempted tackle from Campese. A little fist raised in triumph. Liner's kicked, that's Eels with a knockdown. Well, there was good pressure from South Africa with the Australians playing the ball on the ground. 1 point the difference. South Africa 14, Australia 13. Lots of concentration. You'll hear it from the crowd.
So South Africa 4 penalties and a try to Australia's 1 goal and 2 penalties.
Long pass, Joubert. This is Mulder. Durant is in close quickly. South Africa will want to thrust and try and keep those rucks and walls moving forward. Stransky with a drop. Is that over? Yes, it is. Stransky kick number 5. 4 penalties and a drop. Well, Chick, it's all about time, I think, and unless you're doing a skip pass early on, the defence closes in on you so quickly. But this is Rudolf Strauly. Van der Westhuizen inside, and Stransky will score! We've seen that move before. The last time round it was Henny LaRue that scored with a switch pass. 25 points to 13, South Africa lead. 17 minutes left in this match. Stransky's day. Well, the Australians really have their work cut out now. Run, Wallaby, run it'll be. Daniel Herbert, the pass comes out to him. No one was ready for it. Gregan, long pass over the top to Phil Kearns, who's going to score. It's a great try for Phil Kearns, but one senses, Chick, that it's going to be too late in the match. Gavin, back it goes, long pass to Campese. Well tackled that by Yapi Mulder. South Africa want to stay on their feet, but that's the end of the game. Well, who would have believed that South Africa would beat Australia, world champions, and an unbeaten team in the last 12 months. That's their first loss, Australia, in the last 12 months. And that man, Joel Stransky, the Euro for South Africa, 14 others too, but he was the man that put all the points on the board, with the exception of Peter Hendricks' try.
The mother city of Cape Town was to be home for the next week, as the Springboks took time to reflect on what had been achieved at Newlands on that opening day. As ever, there would be opportunities to pass on their knowledge to those less fortunate, and a chance to get in the right frame of mind for their next pool match against Romania, who had lost their opener against Canada by 34 points to 3. Some key players were rested for the encounter. Adrian Richter, at the back of the scrum, led the team for the first time.
What do we have in store now? Will it be a big shove from South Africa? In goes Johan Roux to lend a little bit of support. And Hendricks to take the scrum half berth. Will it be needed? South Africa have scored.
Let's have a look at that scrum there. Very solid scrum. South Africa have proved themselves to be a very, very strong scrummaging nation in the past, and Peter Hendricks prepares himself, and Adrian Richter just makes the last effort.
Maybe there are more kicking options for Henny Leroux and Johan Roux to get the forwards going towards the Romanian try line. Brecci, he's in all sorts of trouble, taken there by the South African loose forwards. This is good play by South Africa. Are they in possession? Well, that's a good try then for South Africa, and that will be credited to Adrian Richter. The ball was taken away from Brecci, the man who took the catch, and then good work by the South African loose forwards resulted in the captain's second try. He'll aim this at the right hand upright and swing it in beautifully through the middle. South Africa's defence has been equal to the task. On the inside is Brecci, and here's a chance for Romania. Can they get through? Yeah, this could well be a try to them. Yes, it is. Well, that's great reward for the men from the Balkans. South Africa then beating Romania by 21 points to 8. 2 tries to them. That man, Adrian Richter, captaining the team with both tries, and the support kicks came from Gavin Johnson.
With qualification for the quarterfinals safely behind them, the South Africans moved along the coast to the holiday resort of Port Elizabeth for their final group match against Canada. Time to take their minds off the job for a while, although they would soon have to focus pretty sharply because the Canadians were no pushover and 3 days earlier had given the Australians a run for their money. A dark Port Elizabeth night was made much darker by a floodlights failure which delayed the kick-off by some 45 minutes. While the crowd took it all in good humour, the patience of the players was to be sorely tested later in the evening. Canada needed to win to stay in the World Cup. South Africa had only their reputation to protect. By the end of the night, both dreams were in tatters.
You see that South Africa have opted for another scrum. In my opinion, probably the best option. They've proved that their pack is a powerhouse this evening as Johan Roux gets in and lends his support.
Well, that's positive for South Africa. They will score. That's a great effort from South Africa. The try has gone to Adrian Richter. Well, that's his 3rd try in Rugby World Cup 95. That's a bitter strike from Stransky. South Africa will want to keep their cool in such an attacking position. Good shove from them again. Is their momentum going? That's a fantastic shove. That's another try to Adrian Richter.
Well, try number 4 in the Rugby World Cup 95 for Adrian Richter.
Up there with the 75%ers is Joel Stransky. That's a good kick from him.
Andre Joubert's attempt at finding touch has not done so.
Well, the messages are very clear from the players, but referee McHugh doesn't want any players around while he talks to the two parties. 17-0 becomes 20. Chance for him, the counter-attack coming from John Graff and Ian Gordon. He's been very evident as he's slung to the turf. Alcheron. Canadians have numbers on the outside. Now, can they make something of this? Christian Stewart looking for the switch, and then the dummy pass. Joubert on the tackle, and that was Winston Stanley. Well, that's unnecessary, one feels, from Winston Stanley initially. Well, this is a very sad occasion for both teams here, because the referee is sending off James Dalton, Gareth Rees and Rod Snow. One fancies all three of them off the field. Richter picks up well. There's space for South Africa on the outside. Venter. Well, that's the referee's final whistle then. South Africa winning this match by 20 points to 0.
The result for South Africa ensures them a quarter-final place. They finished top of Pool A, but the loss of James Dalton, the way in fact this game turned out to be, was really not the way that it was intended to. It was meant to be a first encounter, a historical encounter, and certainly it will go down in history, noted for the 3 players that were sent off in the latter stages of the second half.
It got worse for South Africa. Peter Hendricks was cited by the Rugby World Cup directors for his part in the brawl and received a 90-day ban.
I must apologize to the whole South Africa for what I did. I know it's wrong to do that, and I must go forward from now.
Hendricks was convicted by the graphic video evidence along with another Canadian, Stewart. The result of the whole sorry affair was 5 players, 2 South African and 3 Canadian, suspended for the rest of the World Cup and beyond. 1 or 2 others must have counted themselves very fortunate not to suffer a similar fate. The 3 players originally sent off had their suspensions upheld. Rod Snow was on his way home anyway. But for James Dalton, the World Cup had come to an ignominious end.
Thanks for everything. It was great while it lasted.
South Africa's quarter-final opponents were Western Samoa, who warmed up for the encounter with some unlikely training methods on the beach. Meanwhile, the Springboks moved back north to the golden city of Johannesburg, the centre of the country's commercial activity. It would be the Springboks' first, but not last visit to Ellis Park during the tournament. Chester Williams had been the face of the World Cup in the build-up to the tournament and had been desperately disappointed to miss out through injury. but Hendricks' suspension gave him a second chance. The media had their man of the moment, and he wasn't going to let them down.
That was good play by South Africa. They took the option of the short line out, and then the tap down came from Mark Andrews. The Western Samoa not happy with that decision, but once again they fell over that ball, preventing it coming out. Glorious weather here at Ellis Park, not much wind to speak of. That's a better strike from Johnson. That's the account opened. Tap coming on this occasion from Mike Mika, but that's Mark Andrews going through. South Africa will want players running off the ball at pace. On this occasion, there's Pienaar just to take the brunt of that first tackle. South Africa have got numbers on the outside. Now he has a real chance. That's great running by Joubert. Chester Williams will score.
Started by Pienaar, and there's the good possession. And a long pass out. And here's Andre Joubert. See how he draws his man beautifully. And there's Chester Williams going for the corner.
South Africans go piling in front of Vestes, and once again he comes away with it. Now can he link up? There's a little chip kick as he's felled by that challenge there, and one fancies that referee Fleming is not going to be happy with that tackle. He struck that well as Johnson, yes. For the fourth time, South Africa have a chance. This is a long pass. Can Kruger make something of us? And Pienaar. Back inside is Chris Rousseau, running off the ball beautifully. There was Ruben Kruger, and Chester Williams will score.
It started with good possession and a good pass, a long looping pass, well taken by Ruben Kruger in the back line. And this is the hooker, Chris Rousseau. He did very well to retain possession and get the final pass in, and Ruben Kruger did well again, and there is Chester Williams.
Once again, a good platform for South Africa. This is Strowley. Ruben Kruger. Incredible ball that South Africa are getting now. Van der Westhuizen's little chip kick through, but back foot is Brian Lima. Well, Van der Westhuizen was felled again as he put the little chip kick through, and the touch judge is not comfortable. But they will probably have a belt at the line, and this is once again a show of confidence as Chris Rousseau comes in. Rousseau scores by himself. This time he's got it, and that's the half-time whistle going then. Andrews this time recovered from injury. Well, that certainly spurred Mark Andrews on. Aggressive driving from him down the line it goes. Ruben Kruger, he's done really well. Now he has a chance for Chester Williams. Can Williams get in? Great running by Chester Williams, hat-trick for him. Well, you can just hear what a popular man Chester Williams is here at Ellis Park as the people shout out. But Ruben Kruger did well to get through initially and pick up the man that he needed. The long pass now, watch Williams. He's got enough pace. It was a super try. He kept himself low as he slid over. Johnson's kick is better. That's a great kick from him. Well, there are lots of options here. Will it be Visser in the front and the charge through? But it's Andrews. Can South Africa get him over? Are South Africa over? Yes, they've scored. Well, that try will go to Mark Andrews, one fancies. Long pass out to Chester Williams. Back again to Johnson, who knocks on. Now Lima does well. Now here's a real chance for West Samoa. Can Nualitia get inside? Yes, he takes it on the inside and he's going to score. Famasino, and that's the first conversion effort for him and the first successful kick of the match. It's been a bruising encounter for both. And now this is Tatupu. Chester Williams doesn't tackle him. Tatupu's right through.
And there the extra 2 points, so it is 2 goals, 2 penalties and 3 tries to South Africa and 2 goals to West Samoa.
Can South Africa make something of this, because ball has not been going their way in the last 5 minutes. Now they've got men on the outside. Chester Williams. This is Rudolph Strauly. Francois Pienaar looking to go through his man and back for it. Back into the game came Chester Williams. Quick take by Francois Pienaar. He looks to go himself. They were not back 10 metres, were the West Samoans. And now South Africa, will they charge the line again? Close in is Pieter Durant, is Kreno Otter. They all want chances. That was not a knock-on from Van der Westhuizen, and it went back. Chester Williams takes over the scrum half position, and has he scored? Yes, it seems like that try will be credited to Chester Williams.
Was Durant in there, big Pieter Durant. And there's Chester Williams with it, and the referee has said it was down, and the pressure on top of Chester Williams eventually pushing the ball down onto the ground.
Well, Chick, that is then the final whistle, and South Africa will take credit for winning this match, moving to the semi-final against France, and perhaps their first 2 tests in the Rugby World Cup 95 after the opening match against Australia. That man in picture there, Chester Williams, an absolute hero today.
For the second tournament in succession, the Western Samoans had reached the quarterfinals, but again they would go no further. Thanks to Chester Williams, South Africa would march on to the semi-finals. It was an astonishing return to Springbok colours for the Cape winger. So time for a photo update, with Williams now well and truly back in the fold. World Cup fever had set in all over the country. Wherever the players went, they were besieged by well-wishers and autograph hunters. But there was no disguising how much they were enjoying being at the centre of attention. As far as this country was concerned, there was very definitely only one team. Back down to KwaZulu-Natal again, and to Kings Park, Durban, for the eagerly awaited semi-final against France. Durban, guaranteed year-round sunshine. Instead, the teams were greeted by torrential rain. It resulted in another delayed start, as some fairly archaic methods were employed to clear the standing water. When play eventually got underway, an hour and a half late, the 2 kickers were very much in evidence.
Mark Andrews, who wins it straight away to Van der Westhuizen. Hands on to Piet Durant. Back it comes. Van der Westhuizen finds Cobus Visser. This is a wonderful start for South Africa. Van der Westhuizen again onto Pienaar. Up to 10 metres from the French goal line. Van der Westhuizen changes his mind to Stransky. Has a look at a drop goal to Joubert. Tackled by Saint-André, and France penalised for offside. Stransky for South Africa has drawn it round. It's the first points of the match, and it's South Africa who take the lead. Saint-André in there as well, and so to Ntamak. And this is difficult now for South Africa. James Small and Andre Joubert in a quagmire just in front of the South African goalposts. Desperate defence this by South Africa. The French pile in. Jean-Michel Gonzalez throws, but it's won by South Africa. Van der Westhuizen. Conditions not ideally suited for the scrum half, the quicksilver scrum half, but it's ball one now. Rousseau, helped on by Peter Durant and Ruben Kruger, and the whole of the South African pack chase him on over the goal line. South Africa close to scoring here. And France hold the onslaught just for a moment. Quibus-Visser, bodies piling over. How can the referee see? The referee has given the try. Underneath a melee of bodies is a try scorer for South Africa.
Big Quibus-Visser adds his weight.
This to put South Africa 10 points clear. He's done it. He's drawn it round, and Stransky has made it a big smile on the face of the manager, Morné du Plessis. Pierre Bébizier. Galtier, who wears the number 9 shirt that Pierre Bébizier used to wear, up to South Africa's 22. Slippery ball, but won now by Delode. On to Olivier Merle. Galtier, Ntamak. The big man brought down. And Quibus-Visser penalised for standing in an offside position. It's Thierry Lacroix. And Lacroix scores France 3 points. The opening points for France in this semi-final. Cabin for France, wins it at the back. Galtier. The French in harness here on the South African 10-metre line. And they push them all forward 2-3 metres. It's going to be another penalty to France. And Van der Westhuizen's had a word, and Derek Bevan will pull them back another 10 metres, and this now another chance for Thierry Lacroix. And the rain has stopped for Lacroix for this second penalty attempt. Thierry Lacroix for France. And it's just scraped in that left-hand upright, and France have reduced the deficit to just 4 points. Van der Westhuizen has at scrum half. Again, it's difficult ball for the scrum half. Pienaar now. South Africa going forward. Up to the French 10-metre line. There's no South African scrum half. Van der Westhuizen is injured. Out to Stransky. Stransky on the narrow side. And France have been penalised. Derek Bevan playing advantage. Stransky has found another penalty pulled a special one out of the bag. And Joel Stransky makes it a scoreline of South Africa 13, France 6.
A succession of second-half penalties followed. First up, Thierry Lacroix. Then Stransky. Lacroix again. And Stransky once more to give South Africa a 7-point lead with just a few frantic minutes remaining.
As Rumar wins the line-out, hands on now to Olivier Merle, punching big holes in South Africa's defence, which is solid at the moment. Galtier, Delot, ignores the three-quarters with him. And South Africa penalised for standing offside.
Referee Bevan indicates that this should be, for Thierry Lacroix, an opportunity to reduce the deficit to what should be for them an opportunity, should they be able to score a try, to come from behind.
Thierry Lacroix is good with the kick. His fifth penalty kick, and Pierre Bébizier. Anxious moments for the French coach and the former French captain. Galtier, Delot. Again the chip to test Andre Hubert. Hubert loses it this time. This is Benazi who goes forward. They're over the line. Benazi not given the try. That was desperate for France and also desperate for South Africa. It would have put France a point ahead.
Will that decision by Derek Bevan indeed alter the whole outcome of the World Cup? And indeed his decision is correct. Benazi just a yard short of the line.
And that's it. The whistle is gone and South Africa have beaten France in this World Cup semi-final by 19 points to 15. Ruben Kruger with a try. Francois Pienaar, captain for the 20th time of his country. Durban has gone mad, but South Africa have gone into the final of Rugby World Cup 1995. The final score here in Durban in this semi-final: South Africa 19, France 15.
He's an incredible sight in full flow. He can come off either foot. He's enormously strong in his handing off. His palm just comes out and you've got no chance.
He's a freak, and the sooner he goes away, the better.
He's a big guy, and the sooner he goes to rugby league or American gridiron, I think a lot of wingers will be very happy.
We thought we had the answers having watched Ireland and Wales play against them. I'm sure England thought they had their answers having watched us play against them. Now I hope South Africa have the answers.
The spectre of Jonah Lomu loomed large over South Africa's preparations for the final. Everyone in the country had an opinion, but recent history was not on their side. No one had got close to stopping him. No one had come up with the answers. As the Springboks attended a last photo session on the eve of the final, there was a sense of foreboding. The usual aura of invincibility was strangely muted. Even the team manager was aware of it.
Stillness has descended on the camp that is quite eerie. It's not tense. It's not, I don't quite know how to describe it. It's a stillness that I haven't felt for a while in a rugby atmosphere.
The responsibility of carrying a nation's hopes weighed heavy. A last-minute phone call from the president to the captain was just the tonic.
Absolutely, I know that. That is why the whole nation is going to rally behind you. And I will be there, Deputy President de Klerk will be there, and cheering you. And I have no doubt that we are going to do very well.
pleased with their line-out form as it continues. That was well taken in the front. Now Mertens. The midfielders are strong, they stay on their feet. That's Bunt, South Africa get him down. South Africa coming in there from the wrong side. That was Peter Durant. Such an important kick for New Zealand. As he swung that through, yes, Mertens first blood to New Zealand. Once again, good ball for South Africa. Stransky, that's good play by Stransky. Looking to drop and then finding space on the inside. Well, South Africa are getting over that advantage line against the All Blacks, and that's critical. There's not a lot of difference between Mertens' first kick and this one of Stransky's. The crowd will tell you if it's over. It's a great jump by Ian Jones. That's quality possession from the lineouts that New Zealand are getting. This is Lomu. He's found his way down the middle. Mark Andrews interrupted that initial surge, but South Africa are offsides. Often this is classified as a sitter, but at this level of rugby, there are no sitters. They're all critically important. He struck it well. South Africa decide not to test the New Zealand scrum because Andrews is the man picking up. He didn't quite go into that set piece. Van der Westhuizen looking to go himself. That's Henny LaRue up there. Is this going to be a try for South Africa?
South Africa will feel very hardly done by. They were not awarded a try there.
They have a better position now. They're closer to the New Zealand goal line. Once again, it's Andrews at the back. In goes Mulder and Van der Westhuizen to lend a shove. They're pushing New Zealand back. Well, that was a great scrum from South Africa and a huge psychological advantage. Now, the big question is, do we kick for goal or do we run it? No doubt it'll be a kick for goal. Dead quiet in the stadium. Stransky again. Once again, good ball for South Africa. Can they make something of it? Rousseau for the third time involved in that move. Ruben Kruger. Now to stretch it, Stransky. Down the line it goes, and this is Andre Joubert. New Zealand really have been equal to the task with those South African thrusts in the midfield. Stransky's got lots of time. Can he get it straight? Yes, he's got it.
Back it goes to Stransky. He's got space and time, and that's a beautifully executed drop goal. There was the head down, the follow through, every inch. So all the points to Stransky with 2 penalties and a drop goal against 2 penalties by Mertens.
Van der Westhuizen does well to run wide to assist with the defensive work. This is Osborne. Now Jonah Lomu and Andre Joubert. The big man has got strength. What a great tackle from Yabi Mulder. Now, Harris straight a vital role. Mark Andrews, Quivers Visser in the front. New Zealand get it. This is Walter Little looking for space. Once again, New Zealand deciding to go left, but this is Mertens' drop. It's there.
Watch the ruck ball. And that's good, second phase, and there is a drop attempt.
That's the closing The closing score, 9 points all, and now there will be a 5-minute break. Now what does Stransky do? Looking to go inside. That's a hoist from him. Stransky did well to step inside. But Yapi Mulder was offside from that kick, so New Zealand, well, this is an opportunity for them. Normally shown a lot of confidence. Has he struck that well? A great kick from Andrew Mertens. Get New Zealand onto the back foot, Stransky. This time the South African midfielder onside, that's the tap down. Pagel picks up. Well, penalty's gone South Africa's way because New Zealand went over the top there, stopped that ball from coming out. This is his kick of great importance from Stransky. Yes, he's got it. Well, remember that we have two halves of just 10 minutes in this extra time playoff, and we've had then the two penalties, one from Mertens and one from Joel Stransky. Well, South Africa have not managed to bridge the defensive line of the All Blacks, but will Joel Stransky look to try and drop? That's not something you see often from a set piece, from a set scrum in particular. South Africa channeling the ball well. That scrum's gone through the 90 degrees. Well, it's interesting to see how Joel Stransky has positioned himself, because he's standing a little wider, facing the scrum. Van der Westhuizen, Stransky looks for the drop. Has he got it? Yes, it's over! Stransky's drop number 2 in the match, and South Africa are in the lead. 15 points to 12. Just 7 minutes of play left, and these will be the longest 7 minutes that those 15 players and these 62,000 people.
And look at this again, Stransky, but under pressure from Mertens, and he gets his kick in. Beautiful, stylish kick, head down, follow through, and he is delighted.
That is it. The final whistle then. South Africa win this Rugby World Cup final by 15 points to 12. And what a dramatic finish for the host country.
As one captain led his team in a private moment of thanks, the other left the World Cup arena probably forever. There were tears of frustration for some, tears of joy for the others. It had been the longest, toughest and most scrutinized month in the history of South African rugby. It was nothing less than a fairy tale ending for one team, one country.
Francois, and then we had 65,000 South Africans here today. Tremendous support.
David, we didn't have 60,000 South Africans. We had 43 million South Africans.